suited for the postseason right now, I don't know who they are.
And not a bad return. Here he gets it out to the 25-yard line. The Buccaneers heading out. It's the fifth-year man, Jameis Winston, in charge. The big key for Jameis this year, just finding a way to avoid those turnovers. They've been his undoing during his tenure in Tampa. It's no secret. 14 interceptions again last year, plus 7 fumbles in just 9 games played. They'll run with a former Tar Heel, T.J. Logan. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable second down, a very solid gain on that play.
2nd and 6, just inside the 30. This is Peyton Barber. He led them in rushing a season ago. And he stopped immediately there. A run through the starters defensively for the Texans. They were terrific in the win over Tennessee a week ago.
The best defenses I know, they draw lines in the sand and say you're not going to cross that. For most of them, it's 100 yards of total offense. They didn't quite accomplish that, but still a pretty darn good game last week. Just over 100 yards of total offense given up.
On 3rd down, Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. 4th down, and the Bucs trot out the former 49er Bradley Pinion to punt it. Back deep to return is Duke Johnson. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. Taking it about the 16. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Texans will take over with a 1st and 10. Watson will bring up the Texans here, 1st and 10 at their own 27. Now a first-time Pro Bowler from a year ago, Lamar Miller. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on 1st down. The success there, Charles, coming on the outside of the field, the ground game. Curious to see if that continues as we progress.
Yeah, we often talk about a variety in play calling and usually between run and pass. But in this case, with strictly the run game, you can be creative there as well. Run it inside, run it outside, keep the defense off balance. And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
A first carry now. This is Johnson. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down. And let's look here at the Houston offense.
Always enjoyed my time with Kenny Stills in pregame. He's got a lot to talk about and a lot to relay to me, but I like him even better once the ball's kicked off because of his speed. One of the better deep threats in the NFL. He's improved his intermediate route running as well.
And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. 7 yards there and a 1st down.
Now that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up 1st downs.
So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. They'll try the air now with Watson. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Ndamukong Suh make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. You never want to give up a sack. From the O-line's perspective, they hate it for several reasons, especially because they felt like they let little brother down back there in the pocket.
Oh, no doubt. They have a ton of pride, and they go into every job wanting to keep that guy clean. They want that uniform with no grass stains, no dirt, nothing on it. But it's really, really difficult. You're talking about some terrific athletes who are trying to put him on the ground. I do believe we'll see a little bit more of this as this game progresses, because when you can have that type of a game in the middle of the defense, it hurts them in so many ways, because most teams like to be strong down the middle. And if you can sting them there, that'll open things up for you on the outside as well.
But that's where their big tight end, is so good, that middle third, the seam routes, the in routes. Yeah, you're right. Probably see more of that.
Yeah, it takes a lot of courage and fortitude to go in the middle as well, and he's got it.
Quite the opening drive march they're on right now.
It looks a lot like what we saw in practice prior to the game, doesn't it? You know, because on that last big practice beforehand, you go through your offensive script. You go through your play.
And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Lamar Miller, his 19th touchdown now on the season, as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. This is taken at the 3. And good starting field position. He'll get this one all the way up to about the 35-yard line. Now the Buccaneers offense gets ready to head back onto the field. And the first drive, 3 and out. Second possession, see if they can get a little momentum.
And oftentimes that first drive is just a feeling out process. You have some...
And Winston lost the football. But fortunately, he's able to recover his own fumble, or that could have been trouble.
Well, that was a big oops right there. But how about his ability to correct it? Loses the football, able to get it back himself.
Yeah, pounced right back on it, keeps possession. And no pitch there, and no chance either, as he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage. That'll go as a loss of 5. And they're going to face an uphill battle here on 3rd and long. Need something from deep in the bag of tricks here after first and second down went backwards. It's 3rd and very long. Jameis to throw it. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. They get 13, but it's not nearly enough. And it'll be 4th down.
Chris Godwin, the former Penn Stater, should see an increase in action and production in 2019 with Adam Humphries and Deshaun Jackson gone from the team. 842 yards in 2018, second only to Mike Evans on the Buccaneers.
The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. Look, they're on the road. So getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
That one goes for 24 yards.
First down, Texans. 40%. 19.
Ready for the second quarter, and it's our visitors with the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. After 7-0 on EA Sports. On first down, it's Watson. Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Well, free safety blitz, that can be a gamble, but it proves fruitful there.
Yeah, you're exactly right about the gamble, because oftentimes the free safety is the last line of defense against a long pass. And when he comes at the quarterback, he'd better get home and make the play. Otherwise, a big play could result for the offense.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. And Charles, got to like what this defense has been able to do these last couple of plays.
Yeah, they get the sack on first down, then they force the incomplete pass. Now they're just a play away from getting the football right back, but it's a big play. They've got to hold up.
3rd and long. It's Watson going deep for Hopkins. And that will be incomplete. Well, they weren't scared to let it fly, but it falls to the ground and brings up 4th down.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield?
Hey, you're one to the good. Go ahead and try and press your advantage.
Could not have thrown that out there any better. When the ball hit the ground, I thought it might go into the end zone the way it was angling, but perfectly jutting out at the 1.
You think maybe what we saw in practice came into play there? You know, he put those big cans down on the sideline and angled for them and shot for them. Looks like it worked out pretty well for him, too.
And they'll mark him down right around the 9, just shy of the 10. A good pickup there, 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Now left side, a completion to his tight end. And he's going to lose yardage here back at the 8. Officially, it will go as a 1-yard loss, and that's going to lead to a 3rd down. The last completion actually lost a yard, so now they'll need to convert on 3rd down. And that one going nowhere from the start as he's met in the backfield and goes backwards. The defense stiffens to force 4th down following that first down gain of 8. Another example right there how this defense really is winning the entire game at the point of attack. Yeah, right there at the line of scrimmage because they are dominating it. It allows their interior guys to get upfield and spill into the backfield. So how are you going to combat that? You know, because they're bringing your tight end, keep him in. Your running backs, they have to step forward. Bottom line, your offensive line has to block them first to give yourself a chance. And we focus on Lamar Miller as he heads back out there and gets set to go again on offense. And he's well on his way to a 100-yard game. He's already more than halfway there. We're only in the 2nd quarter. And what I've always loved about running backs is they'll tell you, I had no idea how many yards I had. Right. Those guys have an innate sense of where they are in a ball game and how many yards they've accumulated because you know they're always working towards 100. He's been working well towards 100 here. That first down completion only netted him 3. 2nd and 7. And he's going to go down. They sack him back at the 42. Shaquille Barrett in there for sack number 22 on the year. And, folks, that's just a half sack shy now of Michael Strahan's record of 22 and a half set in 2001. Following the sack, it's now 3rd and long for Watson and the Texans. Back to throw, Watson. And that will be incomplete. More problems here on 3rd down. They've converted only once so far in this first half. And you know as well as I do in this league, if you don't win on 3rd down, it makes it hard to win a ball game because then you're relying on your defense, you're relying on your special teams. You've got to get it done with your offensive unit. Anger is on to punt, and he gets this one away. And that'll hit in the end zone. Much too much leg there. That'll be a touchback. Hard to believe, but the regular season starting to draw to a close. We've got the final Sunday night game of the year coming up later tonight. Matt Nagy and the Bears hosting his mentor, Andy Reid, and the Kansas City Chiefs. That'll be a good one from Frigid Soldier Field. And then tomorrow night, the final Monday night game of the year, Packers and Vikings from Minneapolis. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. Here's a 2nd and 5 now from the 25. Play action now, Winston. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Whitney merciless in there yet again. What else is new? He continues to rewrite the record book in single-season sacks. Winston needing a big play after the sack as he leads the Bucs up on 3rd and long. From the gun, Winston. And that's complete. It's Watson. 21 yards there on 3rd down. Thus far, it hasn't been a real fun half for them, but a play like that may get them off the schneid a little bit, get them loosened up and moving. Kind of seems like they've been sleepwalking and still sitting on 0 points. And it's not always making an adjustment. Sometimes it's just going back to what you know can work and finally getting it done. Now Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Whitney merciless, getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon. They come up on 2nd and long, and the pass protection just has not been there this afternoon. Here's Winston. Open man is Howard, the tight end. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be third down. They had the catch on second down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at third down here. They'll run it here with Logan. It's a gain of just 3, and the offense likely going to yield to the punting unit here on fourth down. Here's Bradley Pinion now. He's been terrific so far. His first punt, 48 yards. This one looks equally as good. Fielded at the 20. 44-yard punt, return of 9. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the second half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of sixes back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football.
Set. 19. 24. I hope you brought your lunch because I'm about to take you down.
On second and 11 now. Watson. And he slings one that's incomplete. DeAndre Hopkins, the Pro Bowler, the intended receiver. And it's third down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. A shotgun snap for Watson. It's complete to Hopkins. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. And how about this one now? In their own territory, a gutsy call. They're going to go for this on 4th and a yard. They'll run. It's Miller. And he's taken down at the 43, but not before picking up the first. A big roll of the dice on 4th and 1, but it pays off. They convert. The fourth down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on first down. From the gun, here's Watson. And this one complete to Will Fuller. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. Call that a very strong gain of 24. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33.
Right there, 54, right there, right there. Here we go. Shoot!
Out of the gun, Watson. He lets this one fly toward the back of the end zone. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Kenny Stills as the first half is winding down. And the Texans push further out in front. And that'll give them a 2-score lead here, but I'm looking ahead. They just want to hold it for the final moments here in the second quarter. They don't want to give up anything on the other side.
No, not at all, because if they don't, it almost had the feel of an imposing their will score. And right now, they want to make sure they keep that and carry it into the second half.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. Jameis Winston and the rest of the Bucs set to begin this next drive. I think this crowd not really sure what to make of things. Their guys have not looked very good. Their leader here at the top, he hasn't looked that great either.
And most of the time you hear guys talk about how they don't let the crowd affect them or they block it off. Well, that's not really fully true, because a lot of the times you ride the wave of emotion with the crowd when it's positive for you. In this case, they've got to find a way to shake it off and at least get something done to maybe put the crowd back on their side.
Absolutely. Give these guys something to cheer about. Winston now. And he'll go down right around the 47 this time. Now a timeout. 7 seconds left in the first half. 2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Winston. That's caught by Howard. Past the 20. And he's in for the touchdown on the final play of the first half. is answered.
How did they get that done?
The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that moment.
An abbreviated halftime show as we get rolling to quarter 3. It's the Texans in front, and they're going to get the football first as we are back underway in the third quarter. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 20. The Texans offense ready to go here for their next drive. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? You adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show him one thing, hit him with something else.
And the hole closes quickly there. He gets maybe a couple up to the 38.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
A gain there of 21 yards.
Let's go.
If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
And he's going to get this inside the 30. 15 yards, the Texans pick up the first down.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success.
Let's go, D, let's go.
They keep it with Miller on first down. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3.
It went right back to him, but he pretty much had nowhere to go on that play.
Yeah, the previous carry looked pretty good. That one, maybe he was a little tired. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he should have tapped out and had a second back come in and maybe make that run. Who knows?
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. Watson with a give to Miller. Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he will be brought down at about the 6-yard line. That one good for 17 yards, and now they've got it 1st and goal.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Kill. Check 31.
They'll run high, and this is going to result in losing yardage. They're driven back to the 8-yard line. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up 2nd down.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Running from the gun, Johnson. And he'll take this one in for a Texans touchdown. Duke Johnson with touchdown number 12 on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit. Get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Well, those first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
This fielded at the 2. They'll bring it back to just about the 25. Call it the 24-yard line. Now we're going to get a timeout. Appears we've got an injured Buccaneer. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And their halftime hole now even deeper, and they need a big drive here just to answer the first touchdown of the second half scored against them.
They were down at the half. Now, as you mentioned, they're down a little bit bigger, but no time for discouragement. Just got to get back to it, right? Put your shoulder against the boulder and start pushing and try and get back to where you were to start the half.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. Winston, nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
You better be ready next time.
Brandon, I think you understand the type of afternoon this offensive line is having. It is a long one for them. Long for you to spend it with me. Long for them trying to block those guys. They've given up a whole lot of sacks, and the speed and quickness of that defensive line is eating them alive.
On 2nd down, Barber. And nothing doing here as this time the run maybe gets him back to the line of scrimmage, but that's it. No gain on the play this time, and it'll be a 3rd and long situation coming up. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Here's Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
And this is away. It's a high kick, and he got all of it. This is taken around the 12. He'll be hard-pressed to match that one. That a 65-yard punt. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. And a look now at Lamar Miller. He's up over 100 yards, and he'll be looking to get in the end zone again.
Has a tremendous nose for it, doesn't he? The ability to pile up yardage and find the end zone, that's the combination you want in your runner.
Yeah, it's a combination any coach wants, and we'll see if he can find that end zone once more. Now a 1st down throw, Watson. He finds Hopkins complete, and he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. Great way to start the drive. 20 big ones and a 1st down. So quickly all the way up at the 40-yard line. From the gun, Watson, complete. It's Johnson. And they get to him after a gain of 6 to the 46.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
Now Hyde running right, and he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line.
Came out in a power set, but that only served to put more men in the box, and guess what? If you're going to do that, you've got to win up front, right? Your offensive guys have got to beat the defenders. They lost all leverage on that play.
Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. From the gun on 3rd, Watson. And he's going to lose yardage here, as they will switch ends as time is run out on this 3rd quarter of play. Back now in Tampa, as it looks like we are just about set and ready to begin with the 4th. Now on 4th down, on is the punt team sending this one away. 47 yards on the punt that time, just 1 yard on the return. And the Bucs are going to take over 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. Here comes the Tampa Bay offense now heading back out onto the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher...
And it's intercepted. Picked off by Tashawn Gibson. And they will score a pick 6 for the Texans TD. That's the story of the game. They've been suffocating all game long on defense. They were suffocating there again in a big way.
And they've done it not just by out-athleting them, which is often the case, but by being able to adjust to anything they tried to throw at them and beating them into the punch each and every time. This was a defense that was well prepared.
So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick 6, and now the kick is away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. With the Bucs offense making their way back out on the field, let's take a look at the playoff picture, Charles, coming into the weekend in the NFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Hey, you're impressed, aren't you?
I am impressed. That means 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these?
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Whitney merciless. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon. Gotta imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on 2nd down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. To throw is Winston. And he's gonna go down again. Whitney merciless. My goodness, make that now 5 sacks for him in this ball game. Really turning in an incredible performance.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
And he's going to be taken down, sacked back at the 2. Whitney merciless in there to get him again. That is sack number 6, one off the NFL record of 7.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
He'll take it at the 42. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Texans with great field position to start this drive as they take over 1st and 10. And here comes the Texans now. They've got the lead. Last time had to punt it, though. What's the key to this drive?
I think it's leverage. Big guys up front. You know the motivational speech on the sideline is, guys, give us an opportunity. Protect the passer, create space for our runners, and let's go ahead and get these guys.
Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Ndamukong Suh in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete. 4th quarter, you've got the big lead. If you're coaching, Charles, you still taking shots like that downfield?
I'd be a little more concerned with running some clock and making sure you're taking care of the lead, because you keep flinging it around, you throw a couple of picks, you can put yourself in jeopardy.
To throw is Watson. Throwing on 3rd and long. And this is going to be caught, but they'll say out of bounds. So it's incomplete. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Here's Brian Anger now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. And a little too much mustard on that one. It hits a couple yards into the end zone. A missed opportunity there maybe to pin them back. Now the Buccaneers offensive unit back out on the field. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency.
Rashad Perriman off to the races. Touchdown, Tampa Bay. Rashad Perriman, an 80-yard touchdown. And the Bucs are able to cut into that deficit. One play, 80 yards. Pretty easy drive to recap.
It certainly is, but not so easy to execute. Starting on your own 20, you want something to kickstart your drive and get it off to a nice start. They went for the whole thing and got it. That's a great way to send a message to the opposing team.
2 scores down, 3 timeouts left. Still a chance if they can somehow get this one back. And the effort snuffed out. The Texans' hands team recovers. Well, 4th quarter, they felt like they needed the football back. Unfortunately, they couldn't get it.
And I know we brought analytics into the game, and someone has said here that the data says that when a team's expecting an onside kick, 80% of the time, the team expecting it, they do actually recover the ball, which is what we saw here. I just wonder if that number is much more of a anecdotal type of a number. Kind of like when the coaches tell us, well, when you score on special teams, 93% of the time you win the game. I'm still waiting to see that number is empirical.
Watson on first down. It's complete. Stills. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. They get 14 on that one. Good for a Houston first down. Watson now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10.
Under 10. Shoot.
Watson going to give this one to Miller. And he's in. Touchdown, Houston. Touchdown. Lamar Miller with touchdown number 20 on the year. And the Texans push further out in front. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
So after the touchdown, here's Fairbairn now to kick it away. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Now the Buccaneer offense gets set to take over. And following that long touchdown pass, a one-play drive last time, to see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete. He was looking for Chris Godwin that time. That'll bring up 2nd down. An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Jameis to throw it. It's caught. It's Miller. And from the 25, they work this to the 29, a gain of 4. The Bucs on 3rd down. It's been a problem. Just 1 for 7 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Buccaneer football as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. On 3rd down, Winston. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Whitney merciless in there for the 7th time in this game alone, and that ties him with the late Derek Thomas for the most sacks ever in a single game. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Now Winston on 4th down. He's going to let it fly. And they will not be able to hook up there. It's incomplete. They had to go for it with such little time remaining. And, boy, possession here turns over with the football already being in the red zone.
Come on, switch it. Scott, rush him.
A 1st down carry now for Miller. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. They'll wind up losing 3 yards here. And that'll make this a 2nd and 13. So now they have to contend with 2nd and 13 after the 1st down run goes backwards. They stay on the ground. This time it's Johnson. Great move, but still wrangled before reaching the 20.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
The chance of wasting this great starting field position, a real threat. This is 3rd and long. Here's Watson. From the gun, he'll throw. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked up by Levante David. And he's going to return it to the 21-yard line. Trying to get it that time to Stills.
Well, this is a defense that can confuse even the best of quarterbacks with their zone schemes. And here you've got a linebacker that's going to stay at home and just sit down in that zone. And this one basically comes right to him.
Following the interception, Winston. And his throw's going to be incomplete. He was looking for Brashad Perriman, and now it's second down. From the 21, it's 2nd and 10. To throw, Winston. Looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. 30, 10, and he does take it in for the touchdown, but a flag on the field, and I don't think this is going to stand.
Yeah, don't put the points on the board just yet.
So take away the touchdown. It's kind of been one of those games for these guys.
I think it's safe to say that that type of a play just added to their misery, right?
Looking for Perriman there. He's got him. And he'll be out right at the 35. 23 yards the pickup there. Catch number 100 for his career right there, and it's good enough to keep the chains moving. Jameis now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's 1st and 10. And he finds Howard complete. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as they'll stop him with 13 seconds left to play. Winston now to throw on 1st down. And they're going to get him. He's sacked back around the 28. And now here comes their final timeout, as they take it with 8 ticks remaining. So that complicates things a bit here. 18 yards to go now on 2nd down. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And that will be incomplete. 4 ticks left here on the clock. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. One last shot now for Winston. And that will be incomplete. They were going for a consolation TD, but it was not to be. And time has run out now on this game. So Houston going to come away here with the victory. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half to put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for the Texans, they continue to rack up the victories as this one moves them to 13-2 on the year. And they will head back home next week. Meanwhile, for Tampa Bay, they're guaranteed now a sub-500 season as they fall to 6.